welcome back to my channel. It's Taylor Lauren here. Make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe so that you never miss an upload and so that you can see all of my pageant and mommy and family content here. Y'all, I know it has been a while since I've uploaded, maybe like a month or so. Mommy life and just like family life and like trying to still film in the midst of all of that is real. It is real. And then my ring light broke, so I've been really wanting to film with like natural light, but I like to sleep in on the weekends. And it's just been really hard just trying to find a groove for filming and still being consistent now that Blair's here. But I think that I have a groove now with the time change and daylight savings time and whatnot. She's going to bed at 6 instead of 7. And although my ring light broke, I have been playing around with the lighting here in the bathroom. And even though it's in the bathroom, I kind of like it, and I can still like get filming done like after she goes down, and I can just binge film like in the middle of the night and not have to worry about like waking up and catching, you know, natural light on the weekends or what have you. The weekends also, like, I work from home, but I'm still a working mom, and the weekends is really kind of like the only time that I get to chill. So I would rather like go hard during the week, work during the day, film at night, and just reserve family time exclusively for the weekend. So that's that. But anyway, I still have some wedding planning content that I want to get out for you guys. I have a few more wedding planning videos. Corey and I are coming up on our 1-year anniversary. So y'all, in today's video, I'm going to break down our wedding budget and how much we spent. Y'all know I like budgeting, I like personal finance, personal household budgets, all those types of things. And so when we were trying to come up with a budget for our wedding, like, I really couldn't find what I was looking for on YouTube or on the internet in general. Everyone was very kind of vague about their wedding costs and, you know, how much they spent on what. So I was tracking everything, and all in all, we ended up spending a little over $26,000 on our wedding. Now, my parents did pay for the bulk of it. They paid for like what I like to call the skeleton. My mother-in-law helped us a bit, and then Corey and I bought some things on our own. So yeah, so I just wanted to break that down for y'all, you know, in case you're curious and you just have a general interest about spending money on stuff like I do, or if you are a bride-to-be, congratulations, girl, and you're planning your wedding and you got the ring and you're just trying to figure out like, okay, what are the numbers gonna look like realistically? So before we get started, I'm gonna try to post like a picture of like our spreadsheet somewhere in here, and then just have the numbers pop up as I go through them. But just to give y'all a little bit of background on our wedding. So we got married in April. It was springtime. That's a very popular time to get married, typically spring and fall. We had about 145 guests at our wedding. And we had our ceremony and our reception in the same space, and, you know, a banquet hall. And, you know, we got married in the metro Atlanta area, like kind of outside of the city, south side of Atlanta. So yeah, you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and break down the numbers for y'all. I hope this is very helpful. I've been trying to get this video done for the longest time, and I'm very excited to film it, because numbers are important, y'all, and especially big numbers when you're spending on a wedding. And a lot of the times you don't know what your cost is going to be until the numbers start rolling in. And I would say a good tip that you can do to figure out like how much you think a wedding is going to cost you is to figure out how big you want it to be. The time of year that you get married does impact the price. And then just Google like wedding facts. Like, I kept Googling like average cost of a wedding in 2020 and 2019 and 2018 because we got married in 2021. So I was looking at like the average cost of an American wedding, you know, in the previous years. And the number that I kept getting was about $30,000 And that, you know, kind of matched up to what we spent. We spent a little over 26,000. But without further ado, I'm going to stop talking and go ahead and pull these numbers for you. Okay, y'all. So I have my laptop here. I'm just gonna go through and break everything down for y'all. So first things first, I had the payment deadlines for, you know, deposits, balances, final balance, and I have those marked in my planner as well. So make sure that you're keeping up with your payments. We did cash flow our wedding. We didn't take out any loans. We didn't put anything on any credit cards. It was all cash flowed. So for us, what that ended up looking like was putting down a deposit and then paying a final balance so many weeks before our. Make sure that you are keeping up with your payment deadlines. Also, another thing to note, you may be wondering like, oh, how did you come up with that much money in that amount of time? We planned our wedding in about 10 months, but I was sort of planning before we were like officially engaged, before Corey actually proposed, because my mom and I kind of had a conversation like, hey, you know, we're planning on like getting married, like what does the money look like, whatever, because my parents had already told us that, you know, they would pay for it. So we were just kind of trying to get an idea of how much time was needed to come up with X amount of dollars, right? So before Corey even put a ring on my finger, maybe 2 months before, I was already like looking at venues, thinking about like colors and florals and everything. I was just kind of already thinking about the vision that I had and what that would look like monetarily. So after that, once he proposed, we planned our wedding in 10 months. So that just kind of gives you a time frame. Okay, so first things first, I have this all like a little sticky note here. So our venue was $3,300. So $3,300. That was the cost of our venue. A lot of, well, not a lot, but a few of our vendors we did get discounts on because we got married in my hometown, and my family has lived in this town for like 4 generations, so they kind of know everyone. So our venue was originally $3,500 and we got a $200 discount. Now in retrospect, that don't sound like a lot, but when the numbers start rolling in, it helps. You know, every little penny off helps, right? So our venue was originally $3,500, but we got it for $33. It was a beautiful open concept banquet hall, and it fit 200 people. It came with a prep kitchen. The tables and the chairs came with the venue. It came with a bridal suite, of course, male and female restrooms. It had beautiful lighting, gold accents in kind of the architecture. It had a stage, which is kind of what we used for our ceremony space or scenery backdrop, whatever. So yeah, it was a pretty big venue. We were very, very happy with it. I didn't like it at first, ironically, because of the gold accents and the architecture. I wanted silver, but it ended up growing on me, especially with us getting married in April. Our wedding colors were green, white, and gold. So it ended up going, you know, good together. But that was the cost of our venue. Our DJ, and our venue deposit was $500. Then we paid the remaining balance. Our DJ was $1,200. We actually got a discount on our DJ as well because my cousin was our wedding planner, and the DJ was her boyfriend at the time. They've now since gotten married, so he gave us like a family and friends discount. Now, our wedding planner and our DJ were the only relatives that we hired, and they had already been doing this event planning for about like at least 10 years. And at first I did not want to work with family members. We actually have a lot of event planners and a lot of family members that are in like the hospitality business. So we got a lot of offers for people to like help us with our wedding, but I was like, no, I don't want to mix family with business. And then sometimes when you're working with family or friends, they get too comfortable. And outside of that, I didn't really want our family and friends working our wedding on our wedding day. Like, I wanted them to be guests. I wanted them to participate. I didn't want them to, be running around and getting stuff done. But my now cousins who were our wedding planner and our DJ, they're actually very, very professional. And they've been recognized in the city of Atlanta for all of, their events and their work and stuff. So they were the exception to the rule, and they, went above and beyond to deliver for us. And I was very happy, though they were the only two exceptions. So our DJ was $1,200. And that deposit and final payment were just half and half. 600 down, 600, remaining. Then our caterer. Our caterer was one of our most expensive vendors. I think that our caterer was our most expensive vendor. Our caterer was $5,900. So $5,900. Our caterer was actually a childhood friend who I had, lost contact with, but, it was one of those situations where, like, y'all don't really talk anymore, but, like, you still follow each other on social media and support each other or whatever. His business is really booming and popping right now, too. And I hit him up, told him what the situation was. He was more than happy to, cater our wedding. He does more so, like, private events. I don't think he had ever done a wedding. I think our wedding was his first. But he went above and beyond and delivered. We had salmon and chicken. I don't really remember our menu. It's been like a year, but it was bomb. I know it was good. Okay. We had tequila lime chicken and honey garlic salmon, garlic green beans. We had like some potatoes, and we had, our cake was like 3 flavors. It was like key lime and something else. I don't remember. I'm telling you, your wedding day is obviously a magical day, but like the details are a blur. But yeah, our food was bomb, and we were able to like take our leftovers and whatnot. A lot of caterers don't let you do that. They just throw the food away, but we had like pans and pans of leftover food. So our caterer was $5,900, and that came obviously with everything for the wedding. The day we did have a tasting, and that also included the cost of like 3 servers and 3 bartenders, and of course our caterer, head chef, was there. So yeah, our caterer was the most expensive vendor, but definitely well worth it. And I think people get surprised about how much it costs to feed people at a wedding, especially if you have options. And if you have, additional desserts outside of your wedding cake. We also had an open bar at our wedding. Our people like to drink. So that contributed to the cost as well. What else do we have on here? So our decorator was a little over $3,200. Our decorator was $3,293. And that came with kind of like a showing, if you will, where like you go to the showroom and like you pick out your decor and everything. Our decorator did our linens. We had a lot of drapery because the venue was very like open concept. So we draped off the ceremony space. We draped off the entrance. They did our tablecloth, our centerpieces. We had some like pillar situations going on. We provided our own chargers, but there were some place settings and things. So it was really kind of the drapery that cost the most. And then we had like basic table settings with the tablecloths and the linens and all of that. So it was basically drapery and linens that we paid for, I believe. And then our photographer was $2,200. And looking back on it, I wish we would have spent more. I wish we would have done like, videography, but we only did photography. And that also included an engagement photo session, which I absolutely love. Our engagement photos, our wedding photos are beautiful as well, but our engagement shoot was a vibe. And it looked like way more exotic and kind of ethereal than it actually was. We took our pictures like on the lake at our apartment complex, and everyone thought that we were in like some other destination. But yes, so that was the cost of our photographer, y'all. And what else do I have on here? And my veil was $89. My mom bought my veil for me off of Etsy. It matched my gown perfectly. So everything that I just named, all of our vendors, those are the things that my parents paid for. And that totaled, if I'm rounding up, to about $16,000, right? Now I'm scrolling down. Now my mother-in-law also pitched in a bit. She paid for our wedding planner. Our wedding planner, my cousin, gave us the friends and family discount of $300. And it was kind of our wedding planner was we really had day of coordination. I was very involved with my wedding planning, and as I planned, I just sent that information over to my wedding planner, and just kind of had her be my second eye, if you will, make sure I didn't miss anything. But she really came in with like the day of coordination, making sure people were getting checked in at the door, making sure we ran on time, making sure all the transitions were smooth, and all of that kind of stuff. And then the flowers, for our florist, we paid for florist labor and the flowers. We had white tulips, and I had white and pink tulips in my bouquet. We had white tulips for our centerpieces, and then we also had white tulips for corsages and like boutonnieres and stuff. And all of the flowers came to a total of about $500. Another tip that I want to give y'all to cut down costs: work with small businesses. Take a chance on like small established businesses that have never done weddings before. Our florist and our caterer had never done weddings before, but I was already familiar with their work, and enjoyed their work, and wanted to give them, that chance and that opportunity to, work a wedding, and they delivered. Obviously, make sure that they're established, they're reputable, that they're willing to do the work, because, weddings are like more and they're bigger. But I think that's another way that we were able to cut down on costs, is 2 of our vendors had never done weddings before. So they didn't have like that overpriced wedding cost built into their prices. So yeah, all of the flowers at our wedding were $500. Y'all, if I could guess, with the tulips, I would say maybe we had about maybe 3,000 tulips at our wedding. We had centerpieces, my bouquet, and boutonnieres and corsages. And that was pretty much it. I wanted everything to be like simple. I didn't want like any grand tall centerpieces. I wanted the guests to be able to communicate with each other without like having to look over like high grand centerpieces, if you know what I mean. So I would try to like insert some pictures somewhere in the video, but it was just very low key, very simple, very elegant, very graceful, but comfortable, like me. So yeah, so those are the 2 things that my mother-in-law contributed to. Now, my husband's side of the budget, he spent $600 on his tux. His inspiration was Obama's Easter suit. He got it from like a custom suit website, where he just like sent in his measurements, and they sent him the suit. It fit perfectly. It was looking good. Again, I'll try to insert some pictures somewhere. So he spent $600 on his tux. That's the splurge that he wanted. We had saved like, excuse me. Oh yeah, I'm talking a lot. Okay, so we had saved about $4,000 for our honeymoon. Or he did. But we actually got about 10 grand in cash for wedding gifts. So we were able to kind of like stash that 4, and we just used the 10 on our honeymoon. We honeymooned in Hilton Head Island in South Carolina for about a week and a half. That's another thing. So we had a honeymoon fund. We didn't ask for gifts. So my husband and I had already been living together for like 2 years. Actually, not 2 years. We've been together for 2 years. Oh my gosh. So we've been living together for a little under a year when we got engaged. So we already had like sheets, dishes, and an air fryer. We already had stuff that like people give you as wedding gifts for your home. So we just asked our guests to contribute to our honeymoon fund, which was kind of risky, because what if we didn't get like the money that we needed? We wouldn't have been able to go to our honeymoon. We got married on a Saturday. We left for our honeymoon on Tuesday. So we were kind of pushing it, like waiting for all the money to come in, because what we did was in our welcome sign, we had like our Cash App and our Venmo and our Zelle listed. We also had a place where our guests could give on our wedding website. So we just had money like rolling in for a couple days. And you know, like we didn't want to do like the instant deposits because we wanted to get all of our money. So that was kind of risky. But yeah, we had that money set aside for, you know, our honeymoon, but we didn't end up having to use it because we got a lot of money in gifts for our wedding, for our honeymoon fund. And then our rings were $438. So we decided to go with lab grown or simulated fake rings. Essentially, for my ring, I have 2 bands and then a solitaire, and then we got Corey's ring from James Allen. Y'all, James Allen is great. They have a great selection of men's wedding bands, and they always have a great sale. And men's rings are like way more affordable than like women's rings. We got my rings from Tiger Gems. Love them. They're amazing. Lab grown diamond engagement rings and jewelry. It's female owned. I think Tabitha is the owner. She's amazing. I will try to link like all of our vendors and everyone, all the businesses that had a hand in our wedding budget in the description box down below, y'all. It's gonna be a lot. So yeah, so that's how much our rings were. We spent under $500 on our rings. So those are the things that my husband was responsible for. Oh, lies. He also got our the things for our memorial table and our gift box, that came out to like $46. So we had a memorial table where we framed pictures of loved ones that had passed. And I found this cute little sign on Amazon that said, "We know you'd be here today if heaven weren't so far away." And then we got like kind of this breakdown cardboard gift box where people could put money and cards in. And all of that came from Amazon. So printing out the pictures, putting the loved ones' pictures in the frames, the heaven sign on Amazon, and then the gift box all came out to like $46. My husband also paid for our marriage license. That was $78. His haircut was $30. And so that total came to $5,192 that he was responsible for. Now, my part of the budget, things that I spent money on for our wedding. So our vases for our centerpieces for the flowers. I spent $400 on vases. I think we had about 20 round tables, and we had 3 to 4 vases on each table. Now, this $400, y'all, could have actually been lower because I was being impatient and I was just buying up vases before I finalized the decor with my florist and my decorator. So I bought this big set of vases on Amazon thinking that that's what I wanted. Then when we had the session at the showroom, I actually wanted something different, so I had to get additional vases to match the new vision. I guess, you know, it all worked out because those extra vases we just placed like in different places so they could get used. We placed them like on our bar, on our sweetheart table, those types of things. And then as party favors, we let our guests take vases of flowers home. I love flowers, so I always like being able to like get them. So I thought that was really cute. Instead of like spending extra money on party favors, let guests go home with the floral centerpieces. So I actually probably ended up spending double. I probably only needed to spend $200 on vases, but because I was getting ahead of myself and changed my mind, I ended up spending more money. So our dinnerware was $224. So we provided our own cups, plates, and silverware. We just bought it in bulk on Amazon. They have like really nice kind of like acrylic, almost like glassware dinnerware. And all of that ended up coming up to $224. We came out better doing it ourselves versus having our decorator do it. If the decorator would have provided it, it would have been like maybe $100 more. So it was just, $100 off, but again, every little bit adds up. And got all of that stuff off of Amazon for the dinnerware. So even if you're having like a bridal shower, engagement party, wedding, y'all, Amazon has some really good options for, fancy plasticware. Party City does too, but you can get bigger quantities on Amazon. Our chargers. I also bought our chargers for the tables. And y'all, I got them from the dollar store, from Dollar Tree. And that ended up being about $100 cheaper, $150 cheaper, I believe, if we did us doing it ourselves. I just found some like gold chargers at Dollar Tree. I think around the time I was shopping, they had like gold, silver, red. They had like gold, silver, and red, yeah. But yeah, y'all, Dollar Tree, your local dollar store, they have like some good quality glassware, dinnerware, chargers, like table decor. I think I got like 200 chargers for $100 because they were like 50 cents each. So, and the decorator was charging us like $2 per charger. So, yeah, spent $100 on chargers. Our officiant and our marriage license filing was $176. So our officiant also did our premarital counseling. That was a separate cost. I'll get to that. But paying her to officiate our wedding, and paying our marriage, and her submitting our marriage license filing for us, like putting us in the queue, was $176. Our engagement photos were $300. We also had a separate engagement photo session with our non-wedding photographer. So we had 2 engagement photo sessions. I did not realize that typically with wedding photographers that they include an engagement session as well. So we did an engagement session, then we hired a wedding photographer, and then he was like, oh hey, this session is included. So that was an area of overspent, but again, we still have those photos, still love them. So that was $300. Makeup, wedding makeup was $750. The deposit was $200, and the balance was $550. So I paid for my makeup, my mother-in-law, both of my grandmothers, and Corey's 2 younger sisters were also supposed to get their makeup done, but due to some family issues, they were unable to attend our wedding. So my cousin and one of his aunts actually replaced them because I would not have been able to get that money back. So we just replaced them with 2 family members. So for $750, y'all, a little under $1,000 to get 7 people's makeup done for wedding makeup, it's pretty good. We did not have a bridal party. That was another area where I will preach to the heavens, where I really, really feel like we cut costs. But I did want to kind of like shower our moms and our grandmothers and kind of make them feel special on that day as well. So for 7 people to get their makeup done, $750, it was essentially $100 a face. So that was that. My wedding jewelry and alterations on my wedding dress was $139. My wedding jewelry I got from Etsy, y'all. It was a beautiful green and gold set with earrings, necklace, bracelet, and a ring. I didn't wear the ring. So that was probably like $40, and then my alterations was the remaining $100 for my dress. I take alterations very seriously. Alterations are very important, and I knew that I wanted to fork out that cost for alterations. My dress was not expensive at all. I'll get to that in a minute. It was a little big. I think it maybe was like a size too big, and I wanted to do some adjusting with the straps, and also the hem needed to be taken in a little bit. So those are the alterations that got done on my dress. My dress was $240, honey, and it was beautiful. And I'm gonna make a separate video on wedding dress shopping, y'all, but my wedding budget was $1,000. I definitely stayed under that. I wasn't actually really concerned with finding the perfect dress. As a pageant girl, I've worn so many dresses. I knew that whatever I found, I could make it look good. I just wanted it to be white. So yeah, and I actually ended up finding my dream dress, and it was $240. So can't beat that. Premarital counseling was $400. We had about, I don't know, I think we were doing, I think our premarital counseling was like over a course of 3 months, and we were doing like 2 hours every 2 weeks or something like that. So yeah, and our premarital counselor was also our officiant, so that was $400. Very beneficial. Very, just do it. Just do premarital counseling. You need to do it. It's very beneficial. I'm going to try to get Corey to make a video with me on whether or not it's worth it. So that was premarital counseling. Hair trials for my hair. I had one hair trial that was $150. Actually, no. The hair trial and the hair appointment together were $150. So cut that in half. And then something else that I did, just something that I wanted to do, is I got my parents' wedding video transferred from VHS to DVD, just so that I could, you know, have that for myself, and that was $40. I did do a bouquet flower preservation. I got my bridal bouquet preserved, dried, and framed, and that was $500. Our florist labor was about $800. So I provided the vases and paid for the flowers, and then I also had to pay her to arrange the flowers and deliver them. So the labor of the arrangement and the delivery was $800. We had a floral monogram with our last name, so paying for that monogram for our DJ to be able to like put it in the like little machine was $65. Printing, so printing out our wedding program, we did not send out postage for RSVPs or invites or anything like that. We did that all electronically on our wedding website, but we did print out a wedding program the day of, and I had to get the flower girl basket for our flower girl and the ring bearer pillow for our ring bearer, and that all cost $67. And the total for all of this, what I paid for, was $4,470 if you round up, right? So y'all, that comes to $26,462 that we spent on our wedding. And all in all, I think, like, compared to what I've seen other people pay for their weddings of this size, again, we had like 145 people. Excuse me. I think we did pretty good. And it was a beautiful day. It was everything that I wanted it to be. I'll try to insert some clips somewhere, y'all. I don't know. And it was simple, but it was elegant and beautiful and straight to the point. I think we highlighted, you know, the best parts. Food, decor, family, good vibes. We didn't have all of this, you know, extra stuff going on. It was a beautiful day. So yeah, y'all, that is how much our wedding cost. I hope this video was helpful. I know it was long, child. I hope it was helpful. I hope it kind of gave you an idea and is helping you navigate how much you want to spend on your wedding, where you want to fork out the big bucks, and where you kind of want to be a little more reserved. So yeah, I hope you guys like the video. Like, comment, subscribe, engage with me in the comments down below. Let me know what you spent on your wedding, or what you plan on spending on your wedding. Let me know if these numbers kind of gave you like a more realistic perspective or whatnot. And I will see y'all in the next video.